Welcome to part 4 in our Photoshop design tutorial. In this part we're going to go over designing the main content. First thing to do is type an example title. Make the font Museo Sans size 30 pt and crisp. Reposition that. Next thing to do is the content for the left column, sorry. So copy this. The left column is going to be the main column, therefore we're going to make this 2/3 of the width. So copy the outline and change the color. Make sure this layer is on top. Next, create a title for the services area. And add a slightly smaller paragraph below that title. Next thing we're going to design is the boxes for each service. Let's create each one separately. So in the rounded rectangle tool, width 180 pixels by 250. Let's create our first outline for one. Go into layer style blending options. Remove the fill opacity. Add a gradient overlay with light grey on the top, fading to white at the bottom. Add a 1 pixel stroke, also grey. Then let's add a 1 pixel inner shadow of color white. See how that looks? It's a bit too severe at the top, so let's make the top grey slightly lighter. That looks about right. Go into layers and let's create a new folder. Name this service 1 and put the shape inside that. The first thing to do is type the title for the service, so let's call this one payment. Reposition that. Increase the font size to 18. Keep the color the same as the other titles. And let's add a 1 pixel drop shadow, color white. Next thing to do, copy the small paragraph just so we've got some example text. Size 12 pt, and let's change the color to a lighter color. Next thing to do, open up one of the icons I've got. Choose the cards for this one. Copy that and paste into the center. Let's remove the amount of text. Now copy this service 1 folder, duplicate that, reposition and duplicate again. I've already just seen a mistake here. If you notice, I made the left column 3/4 rather than the 2/3, which I intended. So let's move these across. Can be an easy mistake to make if you don't color your guides, which I haven't obviously here. And do the same for the text here. Let's move these. Sorry, let's move the line of text here. That was about right. Change the titles for the next two. Let's open up the other icons as well. So we have the bar chart and coins. And we can save our progress so far. If you want, you can rename these services. I'm not going to bother right now. Next thing we're going to do is the right sidebar. So the first thing we're going to do is a little bar to go on top of the title for the right sidebar. Leave about 15 to, let's say, 30 pixels instead on either side, roughly. Create a new layer. Put this above the folders. And fill this in with a grey colour. Go into layer style, blending options. Remove this colour and let's add a gradient overlay instead. Let's have a darker grey on the right side, fading to a lighter grey on the left. That looks about right. Next thing to do, type the text for the title. So let's call this recent comments. We're going to put here. Let's change the color to make it a little bit darker. And let's lower the width slightly, so delete a section of this. Next thing we're going to do is design the recent comments section. So let's duplicate this layer here, just so we make each link the same width. Control and T to transform and drag it to make it bigger. Go into layer style, blending options. Remove the gradient overlay and color it in with a light grey. Add a 1 pixel grey stroke and let's add a 1 pixel inner shadow of color white to the top. Type some example text, for example, say post with thumbnails for the title and posted on 25th of May. Change the size. let's change post with thumbnails. It's going to be a length, so let's make this a blue color. And let's add a underline. Let's increase the size of the box a bit. Next thing to do is add a little thumbnail image to go on the left side of this link. So open up that image I've already got. Thumb 1. Go into layer style, blending options. Add a 3 pixel white stroke. And go into outer glow. Set the opacity to 100%. Color black. And spread to 100%. Size to 4. Change the color to same as the outline you had before. Reposition that. Again, to make things a bit easier, let's create a folder, call it link 1. Put everything that you just created inside this. And duplicate that. So you have 5 different links as examples. You can change the icon image if you wish as well, but I'm not going to bother right now. Next thing to design is a simple client testimonial section for the sidebar. So let's type another title. Client testimonials. And copy the bar as well. Again, don't worry too much about the spacing, but I'll make a tutorial at the end going over how to fix all the spacing issues. But usually I would just do it whilst coding basically, but that comes with experience. So for the client testimonials, open up the client icon, copy that and paste it to the side. Just like before, go into blending options, add a color overlay, except instead of white, select a light grey color. Type an example name underneath. And copy a small paragraph to the side. And make the color slightly lighter. And that's our simple client testimonial section. In the next tutorial I'll go over designing the footer, but that's the main content for now. One thing you might want to do is, I did say before that you want to have the text lined up on the guide, but it seems a bit cramped down here, so try adding about 15 pixels, or about 15 pixels to the side. Reposition the service box. Again, if you have difficulty remembering, which copy version is each and things like that, try naming your layers and naming your folders so that you know exactly what you're moving, what you're dealing with. It definitely helps if you plan on selling this PSD file to someone else. They're not going to remember or know, which number of layers is what or whatever. But that looks about right for now. Next thing is just the fur area, and then again I'll do a spacing tutorial right at the end. But one mistake I've just noticed is in the title text here. Space that down. Save that. Thanks for watching. You can get the PSD file so far on the website screencasttutorials.com along with written instructions, so visit us there. Don't be afraid to leave a comment or get in touch with us on the contact form as well.